the original woman in full power as a speaker, content creator, leader in full power in the face of women and men. You in full power, speaking powerfully, truly in touch with your original system, truly connected to your body, and the intelligence that is so far beyond your cognition. And speaking from that place in your keynote speeches, speaking from that place in your content creation, speaking from that place in your workshops, speaking from that place in your corporate meetings, you're entirely relaxed in your body. Your is relaxed and you speak. Okay, so first of all, this is the topic for today and what it's really like, the skill development that's required, you making the decision to even become true in that way. This is a deep and wide topic. Okay, obviously it's beyond the 15 minutes that I'll be here today. And for those of you who are, the original woman who's surrounded by women, and you're afraid to speak truths of power, you're afraid to talk about the powerful subjects, the taboo subjects, the subjects that even a part of you is like, we need to get over this whole thing. And all the nuance and detail that is required for you to speak about for your content to actually do what it's to do, to really land with people, for people to hear and get what you mean because you're speaking so clearly, because you're unafraid to speak clearly, precisely, directly as the original woman, which naturally places you as source. Naturally. This is no game of, or the egos and got so big and loud. People, it's like going to your mom and saying, I didn't come from you. You come from me. I'm the power. We are the mothers. We are the mothers. Like, what do you think this is? So then when you show up as the, whatever you call yourself, the goddess, the mother, the source, the original, and you show up and you speak from that, when you're true, people who in their unconscious mind see themselves as superior to you are going to be triggered than a mug. Hold on a second. People who people who so first of all, let's talk about the price before we start talking about all this other stuff. The topic is the original woman in the face of women and men. So yesterday and day before yesterday, while I was live, this platform put up on my screen like beep. So here I go, being mindful again, because because when I get to going, I just go. Okay, so let's talk about the price. Let's start there. The price to pay, because this no, let, let me back up. Let me use myself as an example. So I used to be a part of a community in San Francisco where I was one of maybe two Black women. Okay, it was led by a woman Most of the women in the community were. Okay. And it was a typical like feminine gathering, where there's talking about, being a woman and, the typical things what most of y'all call empowerment today, okay? Which is not what's going on over here with Black Women Gods Gathered. But anyway, that's what it was. And that was in 20, whoa, how many years ago was that? That was 2012, maybe? Am I remembering this right? Yeah, I think this is 2012. And the problem for me wasn't nobody making no money. First of all, where is the money? Where are the people making the money? And I was a coach at the time, and it was important to me to make money. So one of the things that happens when you start to really look for answers to your problems, like you really want to make more money in your business, you really are like, I know I can do more. I know I can have more. How do I do it? And it's really sincere with you at a heart level. Not like you're saying it, but you don't mean it. Everything that's not of what you want starts to just fall away. And what you do want starts to appear. Hello, thank you for those hearts. And it'll present itself to you, and you'll either act on it or you won't. And I remember there were conversations I wanted to start having. There were things that I was feeling about myself that started to rise. And they couldn't happen in these groups. And I remember the leader of this community. What's up, TikTok? The leader of this community, I went to talk to her privately about what I was feeling, felt senses I was getting, what was going on. And it felt like the words couldn't even come out. It's like the words wanted to come out, but the words couldn't even really come out. And I want to say this right now because it's so important. One of those fine nuances that most Black women don't even know, that they're blind to, is that this addiction we have to doing it alone, and I get it, so many of us have been alone because we have our reasons. It's 2024. It don't even matter. Our excuses. Everybody got a story. Okay. But this isolation we have, this like, I can do it. Like trying to do the job of 20 people. You trying to do 5 different jobs, right? Thank you for all those hearts. And also at a much deeper level, we don't even realize there's certain words that won't even come out of our mouth. There's certain power that we need to manifest the millions, that we need to manifest our next steps. They don't even come out. The words don't come, the inspiration doesn't come, the lightness of spirit that allows you to disconnect from density and take action doesn't come unless you are in conversation with women who are of that substance. So this really starts to show what level of play, what level of consciousness, what level of readiness that you're at, because this is it's like the invisible realm of sustenance and power. It's like men who are like, the same thing happens with a man who just wants a wife versus a man who needs a particular woman because he has a particular vision. If you just want to just be around women and you just want women's empowerment, right? You just want to brunch and like, talk about whatever, I don't know, lipstick and this journal that you saw on Pinterest and the basic feminine thing. Oh, honey, there's a bounty of women you can gather and talk with. But when you start talking about real power, laws above laws, an ability to be able to bend, right? To be able to even withstand the vortex of moving through the density. Because when you start to move through the density of all the lies that permeate Earth, there is huge friction and turbulence, and you move through vortexes. Your average spiritual black woman who gets her chakras and her crystals and communes with the ancestors and needs to go put her go to the moon and lay under the moon and ashe and put on your white light and all this stuff they got y'all doing so out of your power. So why you ain't moving then? If you so powerful and you got the orishas and you, why y'all still scared then? You see what I mean? So this is why, like real kings, they elevate the hell out of powerful women. They know they're defenseless without her. The rest of them just want a wife. Who you matters when you start dealing in real power. Who you're matters when you start dealing in real power. When you really are looking to, for those of y'all who are really looking to do big things, how about this? You sick and tired of black women dying in childbirth. How about that? And you decide you want to go at the neck of the industry and create something that totally saturates the planet. You think your Orishas is going, I'm going to the ancestors and I'm gonna like burn me some incense and I shave. And what you think this is? What kind of truth do you want? Here's the levels. What level do you want? What level do you want? So when I talk about the price you gonna pay, the price you gonna pay when you're the original woman and you're surrounded by women and men who the comfort is that you're not in your real power for them. That's the comfort. So you need to determine what's your purpose here? What are you doing? Are you going to pay the price of no longer being able to belong to this group? Because that's what happened to me with the one I was in 2012. You don't fit here, Naima. If you want to have these conversations and be at this level of power and this level of creative ability, oh, you can stay there. They're your tribe. That's your community. There you go. You guys meet every 2 weeks and everybody brings their dish and we sit and we just, women gathering, just talking about women and the stuff we have to go through. But when you realize you need to be public facing, you need to create content that is disrupted. Like you start getting on TikTok, you got to start using and doing the shit that I'm doing right now because they're going to flag it. And, and women got to get like, I had a woman message me yesterday, Naima, I'm readying myself to work with you. The price that you're going to pay is expensive, and I ain't talking about money. And you're either of that or you're not. Just because she's a black woman doesn't mean she's the original at a DNA level to do this particular work now. I'm saying this because last year, summertime, spring, summer, it just sickened. It landed. When you're sincere and you really bottom out, it's a highly feminine state. And you're in true submission, where you're not trying to control the narrative, where you're not trying to make something happen, where you're not trying to like one woman is like, I feel like she was like, I'm not scared of losing my kids. I'm not scared of losing I'm scared of losing my mind. So she was gripping, trying to, because she was scared of the unknown. And so she was trying to make it grip. No, it's right in that moment. I responded to her. I said, whoa, looks like surrender is banging at your door. I said, make sure you, because she said she feels like she's in a prison. I said, make sure you get the gold so you don't return to that prison versus, get me out, I'm scared, I don't. She said, I don't care about losing my kids, my housing, none of this. I'm scared of losing my mind. I told her, you better surrender. That's where your goal is. Power is counterintuitive. Real power is counterintuitive. The thing that you're like, no, I can't, is the exact thing to do. I said, you better make sure you get the gold out of that prison. Otherwise, you will be back. You will be back, baby. It came through last spring, summer. Wow. I don't even want to say it live like this. I'll say it to people who I connect with in some other way. But it's part of inspiring today's topic. There's a black woman who, first of all, I already know what it's like to come into power in the presence of, let alone your own people. Okay. And they will feel, they will feel it when you're true. Okay. And for most of them, it will not feel good. Okay. And depending on the kind of relationship you're in, like if you're in corporate, that's going to be a problem, right? That's why you're not going to see this happening in corporate. But your keynote, let's say you run your own business, your keynote speaking, okay, and maybe the woman who is going to book you, right, or your audience is, right, you're going to have a small number who already at a felt sense knows this, okay. And boy, the level of emotional refinement and skill you need to be able to discern, and the level of fortitude that you need to be able to engage in that, okay? And the only way you get the fortitude and the strength to do that, well, first of all, you got to be independent. When I say independent, I mean your money. You need to make sure your money is not um, in anybody else's hands. Okay, you need to make sure your money, your income, your livelihood is not in anybody else's hands, first of all. Second of all, is the price you're paying of not being in your power, has the pain become basically unbearable? Where you not being who you actually are is like chronic urinary tract infections, chronic migraines, your anxiety is through the roof. Right? And oftentimes it takes that, unfortunately, for many of us to move. We'll loop for years. We'll try to find another way. I've done it. You really don't have to do that if you come into my community. I know some of us like the drama of it all. I'm just saying, you don't have to do that if you come into my community. But we'll loop and we'll try to find a back door. We'll try to find another way because we don't want to stand public facing and deal with the bullets, deal with the losing of what we call friends right now, people who we enjoy their time. We enjoy being with them sometimes. And the price that you pay for not being who you are at brunch is more wasted time, is feeling like you're around these people, but they don't even know you. That's the loneliest. What was that quote that, you know, you could be, I can't remember who said it, but it's something like you could be surrounded by family and be the loneliest you've ever been. And then suddenly you disconnect from family, or you divorce, or right, you become single, and you feel the greatest peace and solitude and at homeness. It's counterintuitive oftentimes. So that's let's keep it there. This is a deep and wide topic, but really, are you prepared to pay the price? Some of the price you already know what it is, and much of the price you're not going to know. You'll find it out on the path. I didn't know certain prices I would have to pay 12 years ago when I came into the transformation space. All I had was my heart to lead, to serve, to help. That's all I had. And in the 12 years that I've been coaching, now mentoring, in the 12 years, I can tell you that it's an expensive price to pay one way or the other. And one of the things that has helped me to make these difficult decisions, one of the things that has helped me to move through pain, in some instances I felt like I was enduring, and now anything that feels like pain, I realize that I can, gosh, we have so much power to shift what feels like pain. And that also is a measurement of your level of power, of how much you move through something that doesn't just feel so delightful all the time or so good all the time. But one of the things that I that has helped me, thank you, to be able to move through is the remembering that I'm going to die. I mean that just does it for me on so many levels. That in the end, in the end, like that is one thing we all can be guaranteed is coming. We might be unsure about a lot of change going on. But one thing I know is that 10 years ago, I was 34. Hello? 10 years ago, how old were you? And that time went. And 10 years from now, assuming I'm going to be here, I'm going to be 54. And at some point, I'm going to be in the last month of my life. And when you really sit down naked on the side of your bed or lay down, turn off all the lights in your room, or maybe just light a candle or one dim light, and you sit quiet in the dark by yourself, and you really get present with the fact that there's graveyards with a lot of gone people and that you're going to be one. And not all of this stuff that you worried about and tripping about ain't going to even matter. Meaning, when they do these exit interviews with a lot of these folks who are who are in these homes, the number one feeling is regret. That's like the number one thing. I'm gonna leave you with this story. Poetic. Thank you so much. Some years ago, my sister and I were at Oliveto restaurant. I think it's an Italian restaurant. It's in Oakland, California. And I'm the oldest, so this is my younger sister. And we're talking about her future, her life, what she's doing, what she wants to do. So inevitably, fear comes up when we start talking about fear and change, and I want to do this, but what about this and all that, right? And this restaurant is a nice restaurant. And within earshot of us was this white-haired, within earshot, he was real close to us. And I said to her, I said, ask him what he wished he had done when he was our age. I said, just ask him. So she turns to him and she says, excuse me, excuse me. And she's like, me and my sister were just talking, about regret and goals and all this and all that. And we were just wondering, what's something that you wish you would have done when you were our age? You know what he said? And this is not, listen, ask your mama, ask your grandmama, right? He said, I wished I would have been more daring. That's what he said. White haired, he was eating by himself. He said, I wished I would have been more daring. Sweetheart, your time is limited. Guaranteed. This is not a maybe. Get present with the fact that you are going to be out of here and that the time will come that you will be in the last month of your life, the last year of your life. What do you want to know and have at such deep peace that you went all in on the thing that you knew you were here to do. You knew this was for you. Be more daring. Take good care of yourselves.